man, we got some stuff to talk about.
We do, man. So, I've been watching back through Breaking Bad. Just kind of on a whim. I was like, you know what? I just really want to watch some excellent something. I think it was right after we watched Joker. I think I had to, start to purge that shit out of it. And it always gets me, how much of that show I don't remember. Because I watch it maybe every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I think the last time I watched it all the way through was right when El Camino came out.
Oh,
I watched through the whole show in anticipation for that. And, yeah, there's just so much of the show that you remember the highlights. And then there's, so many, little details and, things on the timeline. Because, what's her name? Angela? That's the second chick Jesse meets.
Yeah.
That gets murdered. But, over meth. But, I actually thought she was, that he maybe met her in, season 5 or 6. But he meets her, way early in, season 3.
Yeah, he does. He makes sure it's not too long after Christian Ritter is
it's
off.
Well, there's a time jump, but episode wise, it's maybe 7 episodes.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah, so, but the reason that I bring that up is it makes me wish that we had been podcasting and could have done each episode of that show.
That would have been tremendous.
I do have a confession though. I did skip The Fly this time. I've never skipped it before.
You skipped The Fly?
I skipped it. Yeah, I love that episode, but for whatever reason, I skipped it this time. It went to go play, and I was like, I've been watching it when I go to bed, and I was like, this episode is gonna put me to sleep if I watch it. So, and I wanted to get to the next thing that was gonna happen in the plot, So I skipped it. I've never skipped it before.
Wow.
But I think it's a great episode.
Oh yeah. It's tremendous. That would be that would almost be man, I know it's the holiday season, but I'm going to skip the Guardians Christmas special this year.
But the Guardians Christmas special was super relevant to the plot.
Okay. It is relevant to the plot.
Yeah. But the Fly episode is not at all. But it is a great episode.
It is a great episode. But I mean, the whole point of that kind of bottle episode, though, was just kind of build up on the characters more. It puts you in the mindset of where Walt and Jesse were, particularly Walt.
And I bring all this up to say something I was thinking about on the way over here, because this is not the review of Agatha, even though it's Halloween and it'd be a great time to review it. Yeah, welcome to a very spooky ass episode of Superhero Homies, folks. But we're recording this on Halloween. If anybody knocks on that door to get candy, we're going to beat the bejesus out of them and send them home with some of those little flavorless pumpkin candies or whatever, the waxy ones.
Not the wax candles.
Yeah. But
Green Goblin throws those at Peter Parker. He's like, no, throw the grenades.
Yeah, the grenades instead. We're sorry. But I bring this up to say, I knew Agatha was going to come up, and I finished the show last night.
I was going to ask you if you finished it.
I did, and it was we've talked about this before, but if you want me to get into something, because it's not my genre, right? I like Hocus Pocus. I loved Sabrina the Teenage Witch when I was a kid, and Agatha is very much in that kind of vein,
right?
Yeah, and that's what I predicted it would be. That it would be something like that, and I'm interested in an MCU take on that, But I was like, I enjoyed that show way more than I ever thought that I would, and I was trying to think about why, and it's because if you can make me care about the characters, I'll follow you just about anywhere,
Right.
If you can somehow convince me to watch My Little Pony anime, if you can get me to care about those ponies,
you'll be a brony.
I'll be into it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really what it is. The strength of that show is absolutely the characters. My surprise of 2024 is how much I enjoyed that show, because I would have put it below Venom 3 in my expectations.
So the ending stuck the landing for you, more or less? Obviously, we're going to talk about it more in depth next week.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything, but to say that the ending stuck the landing would imply. So I'm not like blown away by the ending, but I will say this: I was very satisfied with the answers I got, and I did not see a lot of them coming. The problem with the show for me was that there's 9 episodes, and they came out with 8 and 9 last night.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that was a weird choice until I watched them, and then I was like, yeah, you wouldn't want a week break in between these two things. But episode 7 is one of the best written things that Marvel has ever put into live action, in my opinion. And I knew though that was a crescendo, that there's no way they were gonna, because episode 7 is super character focused.
Yeah.
They take one character that when they introduce this character, I promise you, you're gonna be like, there's no way I'm gonna give a fuck about this character. Mm-hmm. And by the end of that episode, they're the best character on the show. And the show kind of flows that way. Like pretty much all the main characters get an episode that is kind of central to them. And I think that's a great way to build a show if you can do that. If you can if you can put the characters in the front and still make sure you weave the plot in there in a way that makes sense, I think that's an awesome way to do a show. You know, if you got strong characters, if your writers
if they can do
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew that going from the character-centric stuff into a finale, which by definition pretty much has to be plot heavy,
right?
That it was not going to be that same height, but it didn't fall off. You know what I mean? Like it was. I was very satisfied with it, and I still hold to what we were talking about off mic. I think Agatha, out of the main cast, Agatha is the weakest character. And there's nothing against Catherine Hahn. I think she's great, but she's always played that character sort of campy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like as much as they do give her in the show, you don't really... so this is not really a spoiler. They don't give you her backstory, like the truth of it, until the end.
Okay.
Right? And so by then, it's like, well, we're already at the end.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't really give a shit about her from WandaVision to like episode 8 of the show. And then it was like, oh, okay, well, that's actually kind of fucking tragic. And they added a bunch of layers to her there. Mm-hmm. But I'd still say she's probably the worst character. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen the first 2 episodes so far.
Oh, so you started it?
I have started it.
Okay.
Yeah. And no, it is definitely better than what I was anticipating.
Right?
Like, my ass cheeks were clenched so tight, I can make diamonds. Like, that's how clenched I was watching it. Like, because I've been putting it on the back burner, you know, knowing that I know I have to watch it, just a lot of procrastination. If I put it off, I don't have to do it right now, and I would really like to enjoy right now. But I finally started watching it. And yeah, I mean, I think so far as the first 2, they're really good. I would be interested to know what my thoughts would be on certain things if I didn't already know so much about the show. Yeah. You know, like in terms of spoiler, like would I have guessed that so-and-so was really so-and-so? I think I would.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. If it's the major one that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, in those first 2 episodes, there were a lot of things where I was like, I felt like the show was just like, don't think about it, Morty. Where they were just like, it's just like, well, how can that happen? And I felt like the show was just like, just roll with it, man. It's just witchy shit. But I promise you, they are going to explain everything.
I mean, yeah, that's just like the genre of comic books and superheroes in general. You know, a lot of it is just roll with it and hope the writers figure the shit out by the time we get there.
Yeah.
You know? But I do have like the same kind of question / pseudo complaint. Not really. That's not fair. But I do have the same kind of question that I had about WandaVision, which is, wow, this is, you know, really intense in terms of like the witchcraft and all that. So where's Doctor Strange?
Right.
Like, this is kind of your alley there, my guy. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like whenever you watch any kind of Marvel property, and I guess to a lesser degree, this also applies to the comic books as well. But like when you read something that's so closely associated with another character in that universe, you have to really be clever as to how those characters don't show up or aren't aware.
At least with this show, though,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say it would make no sense for him to show up, but like at least with this show, it's not like, why the fuck is Doctor Strange not here? Whereas with WandaVision, it's like 100% that, you know?
He had to have been like what wasn't like a voice that was trying to get through to Wanda.
Yeah.
It had to have been him.
Right.
But it wasn't, so.
But you would think if the Sorcerer fucking Supreme shows up.
Right.
You know? But yeah, I agree. Like, I think that, I mean, they did name drop him.
They did.
But for WandaVision, it's like, he really should have been there. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, with this show...
It is lesser.
I'll be honest, I don't think he would give a single fuck what happens to her.
I can really picture Stephen Strange being like, all right, there's some kind of magical anomaly going on. I'm too busy for this shit right now.
Yeah, I'm too busy dealing with whatever the fuck Peter Parker...
whoever that is.
Yeah, whoever that is. Whatever that kid's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm actually glad that you're liking it, because I was like, I think the review is going to be just him hating this. But I'll be honest, man, after I watched episode 7, I don't feel that way at all. I just think the character work in there is too good. Because when I was where you're at, I was like, okay, I don't love this, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But around like 6 and definitely with 7, I started to really love it. Like, I mean, episode 7... might be I'm not going to say I would give it a 10, but like if we had to review just it separately, it probably is the closest thing to a 10 that I would have ever done on this show.
So you really dig that episode?
I'm telling you, man, like
so it's up there with like episode 3 of The Last of Us.
Yeah. Like, I'm a really big fan of the like non-sequential storytelling.
Right.
Nolan is a master of this. Mm-hmm. He is probably the only person that could do it better.
Wow.
Yeah. They really fucking kill it in that episode, man. I'm telling you. I know I'm really hyping it. But it's like, I'm not the only one who feels this way. It's the highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. It's the highest rated episode of any Marvel television show. So,
yeah, I mean,
it's not an insanely high bar, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it says something. As hypocritical as this sounds, I typically don't give a shit what other people have to say about this stuff. Crazy coming from people who talk about this stuff particularly.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. All that is with a grain of salt, right?
But I do not take your opinion with a grain of salt. There was a period there when I did. It was around the Marvels area. When I heard what you scored it, I was like, all right, gonna have to.
It's like, who else do I know that would be willing to come over to my house and talk about this shit for several hours a week? Before we get into it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to our cold open. You guys are recording tomorrow.
We are actually recording another movie that's quite suitable for Halloween, if you ask me. Big Trouble in Little China.
We're finally going to get another throwback episode.
Finally, yeah. It is difficult as hell to get 4 homies with 4 different schedules lined up at one time to do this kind of thing. You won't be there for that one, though.
I will not.
Yeah, because it's kind of like going in a rotation. So there's technically 5 of us, and so there's only 4 mics. And honestly, I think 4's the limit. Like even if we had the capabilities to do 5, which technically we do,
no,
I think that 4 is the max.
No, I don't need to be here for everything. It's okay.
And neither do I. That'll be the fun part when that happens eventually.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I guess I have to figure out how to run this thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's kind of idiot proof. If I can do it, then,
So you telling me next time we have Brendan on, he can run this?
Okay, well, see, why you delving deeper into what I'm saying?
All right, we can move past it. We can move past it.
I can label the buttons, and I think he'd be able to, I would tell him to press record, and then I would tell him to press it again when he's done.
Okay.
I think he could do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm just seeing how elaborate that you think this is. What's going on, everybody?
Homies, what's going on? Welcome back to a very spooky Halloween edition of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with my good pal, my buddy, the world's greatest co-host, the homie Caleb.
This section of time is typically reserved for me to talk about myself. However, I'm going to give it up tonight to a friend of mine. A shout out to the homie Leah, a good friend of mine that just recently started listening to the show. I told her she's a Cosmere person. I told her that we did a Mistborn and a White Sand review, and she was sold. So she also very much liked where you tormented me with the worst movies of all time.
So, wait. You said that she also tormented you with the
No, she liked that you tormented me.
What did I do?
When we did the worst movies of all time.
Oh, that episode. Okay, I guess that one was kind of my idea.
Yeah.
100%. That one was fun for me. Yeah.
So shout out to all the new listeners out there.
Yeah, shout out to all you guys.
Welcome. We'll try to keep it somewhat informative and cool tonight. I did as promised on the last episode, we did the Venom review. I promised I would bring my baby Deadpool popcorn bucket. So.
And that is amazing, by the way.
Here's Junior. Have you got to look at this thing really?
Not closely. So the popcorn goes back here?
The popcorn goes in there.
Okay.
And then this whole thing right here, actually.
This whole top.
So this screws off. You can put your beverage.
Oh, and that's the whole
with a straw.
Okay.
Yeah, this whole thing though, maybe I shouldn't fuck with it right now, but this whole thing comes off. Just trust me.
Gotcha. And, so you can fill that up with your alcohol of choice.
Yeah, and you fill that up, and then this pops open, and so you just kind of sit there with Deadpool in your lap, and then you just kind of and then you slurp your beverage out of the back of the seat here.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but this pops off, so you can wash it and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one of the most innovative popcorn buckets I've seen.
Yeah, Dune really set it off, man.
The Sam Wardussi.
Yeah,
that was
yeah, but it's fucking cool.
It is cool.
It took me a while. Oh, that's why I couldn't.
Okay, you gotta press the buttons.
You have to press. No, it's just one button.
Okay.
So you press this, and then
and then it pops off.
It all pops off. Yeah. Before I destroy the whole set here.
That is a nifty popcorn bucket, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've never actually used it.
Because
it's a Regal bucket, and I wouldn't be caught dead there. So I just went there and bought it, and then left. They looked at me really confused.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, do you have a ticket? I was like, nah, I'm just here to buy the popcorn bucket.
I'm surprised every time I drive by the Regal, man. It looks more and more just run down. You know,
it looks like it would be in the Narrows of Gotham City.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, like you can see once upon a time, like before the crime bosses took over, that this could have been like something cool.
Yeah.
But now,
like Oz, the Penguin, like he deals drugs out of there and
right, out of the theater in particular.
Yeah, you can get you some drops at the concession stand.
Right.
So,
well, homies, we are here today. Oh, almost forgot about the sound drop here. So I'm going to filibuster till we get there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
There is a sound drop. It's very important to our cause here today, folks.
Absolutely. Like, if I didn't do it here and now, then it would be a waste. Now you guys get to sit here while I fumble around and find which one it is because I didn't label it properly.
Oh, no.
That is not it.
I feel it. Nope, that's not it either.
It's clearly this one. So
nope, that's not it.
That's not it. It's obviously this one.
We have done this.
Breaking news. This just in. You're listening to the cosmic, world-breaking, magnificent, multiversal, mega-talented news anchors, the superhero homies. And this is Comic News.
Comic news. I probably wouldn't entrust Brendan to do that, to find the.
You barely got it.
I didn't think it was going to happen, but we got there.
I think that Venom review was really good.
It was.
I think that was just like a great piece of content that we put out.
Yeah, like, the movie again.
Not to pat ourselves on the back.
Right, yeah. The movie wasn't a piece of work. It wasn't like a masterpiece, but It was better than overall than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, this is important to note is that we don't want to come on here and shit on things. If they're awful, we will.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes people think that we enjoy shitting on things. But for the most part, other than like Madam Web, where you make it hilarious for us to shit on it.
Right.
We really don't want to. There are things we have just decided not to review.
Yes.
Because we would hate that. It would just be a hate fest.
And I don't want to do that.
Like Rings of Power.
Yeah.
You know? Because it would just be 2 hours of me being furiously angry. You know? And I don't want to do that to me or you.
Vast majority of the Arrowverse on CW.
Oh, God.
Just stayed away from it, you know?
Could you think, like, there's an alternate universe, right, where we decided that we would every week review all of those shows.
Oh.
And we just do an episode where we review each CW thing that week.
There's so much content.
Yeah, I know. And see, in this universe, the reason this is a dark universe is we decided to start doing that when Arrow season 1 came out.
Oh.
And then like 4 years later, we were reviewing like 5 crappy shows.
Oh my gosh.
And we just hated it. And now we have like the goatees because we're from the dark timeline.
Yeah, we are from the dark timeline, so we got the goatees instead. That makes perfect sense, and that is awful. That makes me sad to think about.
Did you know Brie Larson is in 4 episodes of Community?
Really?
That's the exact reaction. I feel like I got like reverse Mandela'd on this.
Right.
Because I had someone mention it to me because we were talking. My friend Ren, shout out if you're watching the show, is watching the entire MCU in chronological order. So they just got done with Agent Carter.
Oh, wow.
And they're about to go to Captain Marvel. And so, you know, I was like, well, Brie Larson's awful, blah, blah, blah. I was like, the only things I've ever really liked her in were Scott Pilgrim and, to a lesser extent, The Marvels. And they were like, well, what about Community? And I was like, that bitch wasn't in Community.
Right. Yeah. Gillian Jacobs.
She's Abed's girlfriend for like 4 episodes.
Really?
In like season 3 or 4, yeah.
Wow.
My brain completely removed this from reality.
If that were like a question on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I would have just watched the shit out of that.
Yeah, and Kay has seen Community several times, and I talked to her about it too, and she also didn't remember her being in there. So I think all of us just collectively deleted it.
I think so. Well, a lot of that may speak to however her performance was.
That's true. I kind of have to go back and watch the episodes now though, just to see.
Yeah, it's like in Parks and Rec. There's an actor in there called Justin Theroux. First of all, he co-wrote Tropic Thunder, which for that alone he's goated.
Right.
But he was also like the lead in The Leftovers, and it's one of those things where it's like he's only in like 3 episodes of Parks and Rec. But I remember that guy's performance because it was a different take for him, different character for him, and he was good.
Yeah.
Brie Larson. I don't want to start here.
No. So this is a comic news episode, and typically the big companies wait until the day after we record. Sometimes it's been 15 minutes after we got done, or we'll be in here actually recording the episode, and so we don't see the news. And then we stop recording, we come out, and they've dropped like phase 7, 8, and 9, you know?
Right.
But this time, we got incredibly lucky because Disney decided we were going to record this comic news episode today, and the Disney has spent the last 3 days just dropping the load everywhere.
Yeah.
So
it's been extremely kind of them to do so. Yeah. So where do you want to start?
Let's start with that. Well, I guess I want to start with the thing that's going to be coming out the soonest. So yesterday, or maybe the day before that, they dropped the Disney Plus trailer. And regardless of what I think about some of these projects, the trailer was solid.
It was.
Like, I feel like it's really hard to watch that and not be hyped for Marvel in 2025.
Whoever put that together, they did their job extremely well.
Yeah. Obviously, the way they put it together, you wouldn't think this. They lead in with Daredevil. Yeah. Actually, take that back. They lead in with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
And then they go right into Daredevil. So you're not turning this off for any reason.
Which is smart. That's how you do it, you know?
Yeah, it's incredibly smart. And then they went into like Spider-Man and, you know.
Yeah.
Because watching it, you would think it's going to release that way, but the next thing to come out is actually going to be What If Season 3.
Oh, that's right.
It comes out in December.
Oh, shit. See, I didn't even catch note of that release date. When I saw December, my mind just pushed back to next year.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it until today when I was trying to get my shit together for this, journalism, you know. And it's coming out December 22nd of this year.
So that's like literally a year after season 2.
Yeah.
That's wild. And I wish they stopped doing that shit. They make it difficult for the Homies Award, you know?
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of these breakdowns here. First of all, well, Deadpool and Wolverine is coming to Disney Plus streaming in November.
Yeah.
Which
by the time you hear this will be this month.
Yeah. By the way, to get your early access, go to patreon.com/superhero homies. That way you guys can get all this cool ass content ASAP.
Click on that Homie Supreme button.
Yeah, lickety splickety. That's not the name of the tier though.
No.
Yeah.
That'd be really long.
It would.
Homie Supreme Lickety Splickety.
Lickety splickety, yeah.
Maybe we should create a $10.
A $10, yeah. Called
Lickety Splickety.
Lickety splickety, yeah.
Tier. And that, you actually get a random package of Dick and Nips in the mail every
Oh,
month.
shit.
Yeah.
That would, that would sell. That would go like hotcakes.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Everybody wants Dick and Nips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One or the other, at least. But both is good.
So this trailer, after the Deadpool introduction at the TVA, it leads into the Daredevil stuff, like you said. Again, we get, what would you say, maybe 5 to 7 seconds of each show?
Yeah.
Around there?
Yeah.
Or maybe 10 to 12.
It's probably more like 10 to 12 because it's like 2 minutes long. And some shows got more than others. Mm-hmm. Like, we already said, Daredevil Born Again, obviously, like, that's like the star.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy because like it feels like Spider-Man. So I feel like Eyes of Wakanda got the least.
Yeah.
But that makes me feel like it's because it's not done, right? Because it's like coming out way later.
Yeah.
Spider-Man got okay, not as much as you would expect Spider-Man to get, right?
Yeah, I bet I had to assume this for the same reason as Eyes of Wakanda.
Well, Spider-Man's coming out in like January.
Next year?
Yeah. Yeah, January 29th.
Here's the weird thing about that show. It was so on and off for a long time. Same thing with a bunch of these shows, really.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, because that show was announced, 3 years ago?
Yeah, if not more.
If not longer.
And originally, it was supposed to, like, be a prequel to Civil War. And it was going to have Tom Holland in it.
Right.
But now I think it's supposed to be like, it's just not, right?
So what the fuck is it about then? If it's not pre-Tom Holland Spider-Man or pre-Civil War, I should say.
Yeah, as far as I know now, it's going to be like its own thing.
Interesting. Okay. So is still him pre-Avengers?
Yeah, I could be wrong though, but so Tom Holland's definitely not voicing anymore. So I don't know if it's supposed to be his Spider-Man or not. Yeah. I think not though, but I might be wrong.
Interesting,
but I may be wrong.
Oh,
I don't think they know at this point.
Yeah, probably not, because that show has gone through so many creative differences and changes that it's probably a whole different beast by now.
It's damn near Blade at this point.
Oh, that's a whole other thing I have on here.
And another thing.
The few seconds we get of that, I feel like for this, what's it called again?
Spider-Man freshman year. It originally, actually, I'm sorry. It was freshman year. Mm-hmm. Now it's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Okay.
Which is, I think it's a lot.
That is a long name. Like, I think there's a reason why there was never a comic book called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Right. And interestingly enough, there is going to be a 5 installment book that goes along with the show.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't boil that down to another adjective like amazing or spectacular. Or...
You know how mad Stanley would be? He'd be like, this ink costs money.
Yeah.
It ain't for free.
Shit ain't for free.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't get to see much of it here, so we can't really judge or access the footage that we got from that. But it's good to know that it's still coming out in early next year.
Yep. So we got that. Let's see. Born Again is going to come out March 4th. So that's the next show we're going
to man, Marvel's, I mean, out of all the ones that they need to knock out of the park, that's the one.
It looks exactly like the Netflix. I mean, like the way it's shot, you know?
Yeah.
It's very clear that that's the tone they're trying to go for.
Yeah.
And I mean, the violence looks like it. Here's what I think they're going to do. I think it's going to be like the Netflix show with about 5% comic booky shit added. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think Matt might do some things that are a little more
fantastical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might see some more of him doing the ricochet with the little fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm completely fine with that.
Oh yeah.
He can't just be a guy in a suit if he's going to show up in an Avengers movie. You know?
Sure he can. Batman shows up in Justice League all the time.
Right. But that's Batman.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
Like we talked about in the Dark Knight Rises review, he's Batman. That alone gives him all kinds of shit. I know he shows up and fights Darkseid, and he's just a dude in a suit.
Yeah, and he technically wins.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. I was just reading The Button the other day, where he fucking fought Reverse
Flash. I mean, we wouldn't call it a fight,
He got some hits.
He did.
I mean, it wasn't just a beatdown.
Yeah, it's still Batman we're talking about,
and it still went way better for him than it went.
That's true. Man, so one thing we have to remember about the Daredevil show when it first came out on Netflix, one of several reasons why it was so grounded is because of the budget. Like, season 1 didn't have this great big budget, and so like with Matt swinging with the Billy Club, they couldn't do any of that.
Right.
If they wanted to do that now, they certainly can, but they're gonna have to get rid of that uncanny valley effect.
Yeah.
Make sure it looks like a dude actually swinging and not some kind of CG monstrosity sailing through the air.
I mean, they could always just have him use it like a grappling hook, kind of.
Yeah.
Like Batman. That's an easier effect to pull off.
It is.
I'm with you, man. They can't fuck this up. But with all these ingredients, it would be hard to fuck it up.
I think so, man. They're putting a lot in the show. Oh, and also, was it 9 episodes? Is that what they said?
Yeah.
And what did we originally hear? 18?
I thought it was like 23 or something.
It might have been something stupid like that.
Yeah. Like, y'all ain't about to do 23 fucking episodes?
Yeah, how crazy is that, right? When this show was first being announced and they were giving us little tidbits about it, they said that it would be, I guess, somewhere between 18 to 23 episodes. I don't remember what the original number was, but something astronomical in terms of today's streamlined television. And you look at it now, and they've boiled it down to a 9-episode miniseries or season. And that is way more feasible than whatever they had going on the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen one show that I can recollect string out 22 episodes or whatever, and it was with no filler. And it was an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh.
And the reason that happened is they broke it up into 3 like mini arcs.
Yeah.
So like 1 through 7 was like an arc, and then they had a conclusion, and then like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 was another arc, and then they like 13 through 20 or whatever, so they basically just made it into 3 mini seasons.
Right.
And there's not very many stories you can tell over 22 episodes.
No.
And
also that's so strenuous on the writers, and I know that a lot of the writers apparently get paid per episode. So I guess in a way that is friendly towards the writers, but man, in terms of just sheer quality, like, how do you do that? Like the studio heads present you with a, with a beginning and with an end. Find a way to get this made to be. You know what I mean? And you got 23 episodes to fucking fuck around and fill in.
Here's the thing: if we get 9 hours of Daredevil, that is still going to be way more screen time than most MCU characters have.
Absolutely.
So, and honestly, now that we're considering the Netflix shows to be canon, he already has more screen time than probably just about anyone in the MCU.
That is true.
So, I'm really like, obviously the cast is going to kill it.
Most of them we've seen.
I'm interested. Yeah, I'm really interested to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I want to, do you think we get a crazy cameo here? I mean, obviously Punisher doesn't count because.
Right. He was also in the trailer. Well, the leaked trailer that I just spoiled.
How crazy would it be if we get a Tom Holland cameo?
See, I knew we were going to come here to this point.
Or Spider-Man.
Okay.
Because it can't be Peter Parker.
That's true.
Because he doesn't remember Peter exists.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, couple interesting points. One, if Daredevil meets Peter Parker and then meets Spider-Man, there's no reason in him not knowing. He knows.
Right. Yeah.
But secondly, and I guess more to your point, contractually speaking, I don't think they can.
No, probably not.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because that thought did cross my mind. I do hope that we get to see Vincent D'Onofrio in Spider-Man 4.
Yes. Yes. So let's just take Spider-Man off the table. Mm-hmm. I think it would be insane if we got a Luke Cage cameo.
Oh, that would be
if
nice.
Mike Coulter just rolls up as Luke Cage. Or even a Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. I think either one of those. Or both. Both is good.
Both is good.
It would be awesome to have like both of the other stars from Marvel Netflix show up.
I think you forgot one. You forgot the Punisher, man.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And Colleen. I forgot about Colleen.
Speaking of Colleen, she was in that show with somebody else. Misty Knight. She was in season 2.
That's right. Yeah. I would pop for a Misty Knight.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I'll be honest. I would love for us to get an MCU cameo of some sort. Mm-hmm. Just to
help
to bring that glue. I mean, we already got him in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
that cameo was also
amazing. So good.
Yes.
But I want to see, an MCU regular.
There's got to be somebody who we've seen in mainstream MCU who needs a lawyer.
Yeah, I mean,
like all of them, I'd imagine at this point.
I mean, fucking Bucky definitely needs one.
Yeah,
Bucky needs Saul Goodman.
Right, that's who Bucky needs for sure. Yeah, 100%. Man, I'm trying to think about because there's so many good different cameos that they could do for the show.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally, it could be anyone.
I mean, yeah, they could have Sam.
Yeah.
Captain America himself.
Yeah. Especially when you consider that most of Marvel is always in New York.
Right.
Yeah. So they got tons of things they can do. Since they did give a glimpse of this character, I believe, in this little 10 to 12 second snippet, I'll go ahead and mention them. One of the villains, maybe the main physical threat, is a character named Muse. And he was an extremely creepy motherfucker. He likes to kill people and then kind of muse their bodies. Really cool and creepy design, and they did a really good job with that in the show from what I've seen. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him, and it's really, I assume it's got to be about Matt finding out who is behind all these murders and maybe why this guy is murdering people. But yeah, that, homies, if you guys would like to read that, it's in the Charles Soule Daredevil run. And speaking of Charles Soule and Daredevil, we'll be talking about that in a little bit too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'm really interested in where they get. Do you think we're gonna get Bullseye? You think Dexter will be back?
He is in it.
Oh, that's confirmed.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's gonna be great.
Yes. But see, now I'm like, okay, let's say that these are hour-long episodes instead of 45 minutes. We still got 9 hours of television. Is that still enough for Kingpin, this new villain, the Muse, and Bullseye?
I think you have to keep. I think you have to keep Fisk as the overarching mega. He's the final boss, right? So whatever Fisk has got going on is obviously interesting, but he doesn't have to be the main threat at any point.
Yeah.
So
he's running for mayor right now, so he's busy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I could see them doing a thing where Bullseye wants revenge on Fisk. And you actually put Matt in a situation where Matt is protecting him.
Yeah.
He's actually protecting Fisk from being assassinated by Bullseye.
Wow, yeah. That would be great. You think about the shot in the trailer that we see. Those two are sitting down at like a diner someplace.
Yeah.
And they're talking very candidly and, still definitely the same universe. They, Matt knows all the shit that Kingpin has done and Fisk knows that this guy's Daredevil.
Yeah.
And maybe that is a conversation that they're having there,
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Because I'm sure that Matt is thinking, why shouldn't I let the psychopath kill you?
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah.
That would be cool as hell, though, man.
Because Fisk is the one that actually ultimately injured him, right?
I need to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that Fisk ended up, like, tossing him through a wall or some shit.
Yeah. That's right.
And then they ended up replacing like his whole back and spine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Fun fact, in the comic books, he has adamantium implants. So
great.
Right. You never saw the 03 Daredevil movie, did you?
Nope, so I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah. He gets fucked up at the end of that too and put in the full body cast. He always gets fucked up.
Poor Bullseye.
You want to move on to Ironheart?
Sure. I don't know what to make of this. Obviously, coming right out of Agatha, which we spent 2 years being like, this is going to be the dumbest shit imaginable,
right?
And I've had to eat crow on that one. So, this could be good. But all we have to go off of is what we saw in Black Panther 2.
Yeah, and
I am not impressed in any way, shape, or form. So, I'm going to watch it obviously with open mind. Right. The footage doesn't change my mind, though. I mean, we didn't see a lot, but...
Her suit looks a hell of a lot better than whatever the fuck we got in Black Panther 2.
It's very Gundam-esque.
It's a goddamn Gundam,
It's a goddamn mini Gundam.
Yeah. 100%. There's a couple things that I need this show to do and that I think will ensure people's enjoyment of it. Number one comes with like a small tangent / backstory. Okay. Fun fact: Brian Michael Bendis, he created Riri Williams,
right?
But before he created Riri, he created this other character called Miles Morales. You guys may have heard of him, but when he first wrote Miles, it was obviously after the death of Peter Parker in the Ultimate Comics. Peter Parker gave his life fighting the Goblin, died in the process, and Peter and Miles there was no relationship there. Like no knowledge really of one another.
Right.
Miles, through shenanigans gets bitten by another radioactive spider. There's way too many of those in New York City.
There's a lot in New York,
There's a lot.
It's like a real thing you have to worry about.
Yeah. And he develops, obviously the spider powers. And the interesting thing is, first of all, he didn't want superpowers. And when he got them, he didn't want to be a superhero. Like the classic hero's dilemma. He just wanted to be a kid, go to school, get good grades, make his parents proud. And thirdly, and this was so important, he did not have anyone to really help him out. Just like Peter had to get it out of the trenches, so did Miles. And what ends up happening is that eventually he goes and gets a shitty looking Spider-Man costume, puts it on and goes out and tries to fight crime. He's shitty at it, but not only is he shitty at it, the thing that I remember most vividly is the way that Bendis wrote this era of Miles, because people will look at Miles and say, why are you wearing that costume? You don't deserve to wear that. Take it off. And Miles' response was, I didn't mean to offend. I'm not trying to disrespect the old Spider-Man's legacy. I did this to pay respect to him. And he always kept getting shit about it until he finally came into his own. And the reason I bring that up is because Brian Michael Bendis was self-aware enough to know that replacing Peter Parker with this new character was going to light some people on fire.
Yeah.
And within universe, he had it set up so that people knew. He was basically reaffirming to the audience, I know that you guys don't like this right now, but give it time. He's not here to replace Peter Parker. He's here to honor Peter.
Right.
And he did that very cleverly in canon in the comic books. With this Riri Williams show, this Ironheart show, she needs to do something that shows her paying respect to Tony Stark.
Right.
You can't. They tried this. They didn't even skirt around it. They just ignored it in Black Panther 2. There was no mention.
Furious.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing. If this character had been created by Bendis or anyone in 1999 or 2004 or whatever, fine, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody who's not a comic book like avid reader would have a hard time naming 3 Iron Man villains for you in the year 2000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In 2018, though, where you already know that Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark is essentially the centerpiece of the biggest Hollywood franchise in the history of the earth.
Yep.
Come on, man. You gotta give us something here.
Yeah. And this is one of those things where, just like Bendis did with Miles, you can put the audience at ease by the way you write the character and the situations you put her in.
It seems like they're gonna go this route, or at least they did in Black Panther, where there is no homage at all. It's like she just had never even heard of Tony Stark. Yep. You know,
right?
Which is blasphemous and absurd all at once.
Yeah, and it's so they need to resolve that. Yeah, I think unless they resolve that, they are putting a pretty low glass ceiling on how much people can enjoy this show.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll go ahead and say it now. If they don't do that, if they just try to ignore that Iron Man is a thing in this show, you can go ahead and write it off as a loss.
Or even worse, if they try to downplay Tony Stark.
Oh, God.
The worst way to get somebody over is to downplay the person that came before them. That never works.
Yeah. Or their opponent.
Yeah, that too. I think another thing this show could do to really help is if they either bring back Justin Hammer, and he's the threat. You got to get Sam Rockwell in particular.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Or you introduce, what was his name? Jebediah Stane, who was the son of Obadiah.
Yeah.
That would be really cool as well. The problem is, though, there's no real connection between those two because Riri doesn't have any kind of connection to Tony. But, I mean, it's something.
They really need to put Rhodey in it.
Absolutely.
And let him bridge that gap.
Yeah. The problem is, like, putting another hero in there, you ran the risk of
him overshadowing.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, there's a large contingent of people. I'm not saying I'm not in this contingent that would kind of rather just see fucking War Machine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Especially, after all he's been through,
Yeah,
it'd be really cool to see where his mind is at.
Motherfucker's been a Skrull for like 11 years.
Bruh, that Skrull was working overtime.
Yeah, he was very good at his job.
Very committed.
He was a Skrull for what, 9 years?
Had to have been, right? So during the 5-year blip.
Actually, more than that. Okay, so 2016, right?
Oh, yeah.
So 2016 Civil War, that's when it happens.
We assume that's exactly when it happened, right?
It's confirmed.
Okay.
That's when it happened.
Because I knew that it happened between Civil War and Infinity War, but I didn't know exactly when in that time frame it happened.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So, 2016, so we go to Infinity War in 2018. and then we have the 5-year jump. So because the MCU is 5 years ahead of regular time. So technically, Secret Invasion was last year, 2023, in our time. Mm-hmm. So that means it was 2028. So 12 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Dog. Yeah, man. Like, I'd be a little upset, if I was Rhodey waking up to that.
Yeah, I mean, he missed all the Thanos shit.
Bro, yeah, he missed all the Thanos
Never
shit.
got to go to space.
Yeah. Man, that's the worst. Sorry, Rhodey.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. His best friend is dead.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Sam's Captain America? What
the fuck?
What the fuck? Most of the Avengers are gone.
They're gone.
Natasha's dead.
Yeah. A lot of them are dead or just retired now.
Not sure what happened to the Hulk at all.
You're right. Hulk is kind of smart now and
one-armed.
One-armed and...
It'd be a lot, man. It'd be a lot to wake up to.
Yeah, dog. What else do we get in this tidbit, in this 2-minute trailer thing?
We got Marvel Zombies.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm not.
You're not with it?
Not with it. Not feeling it. I'm sure there's a contingent out there that is.
Mm-hmm. The Marvel Zombies have always had like a really big following in like the Marvel comic zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And I think, a few weeks or month ago, we confirmed that it was Kirkman that wrote that.
Yeah.
So they got the right guy, who did the comics. I've never really been that big on Marvel Zombies myself. It's not because I dislike it. It just isn't really my cup of tea, the whole zombie thing. However, though, like, I think the show looks good. Like, if the Marvel Zombies TV show is as good as that episode of What If, then 100%. Let's go.
See, I didn't dig the What If episode either, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't real big on it.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, so.
Gotcha.
It's just not for me. I don't, I'm sure it'll be fine, but it's just not for me.
Not something you're looking forward to, huh?
Yeah.
How forward are you looking forward to What If Season 3?
It depends. You know me. I loved Season 1, Season 2. I could take it or leave it. So, yeah, it really depends on them.
Yeah.
I am excited about the prospects, but once again, see what happens.
Do you remember any of like the episode setups they had for What If Season 3? Like, they showed them so quickly that I couldn't really.
Yeah, I really didn't. I know that we got to see like a bunch of Asgardians, battle or something. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll be talking plenty about it,
right,
in the coming months. So here's the one that I have a million questions about that you can answer for the homies and myself. The fuck is Wonder Man?
Oh yeah, we did get a Wonder Man trailer. Yeah. So Wonder Man, he is, in some ways, he's kind of like Marvel's Booster Gold in terms of like personality and ego, not in terms of, powers or whatnot. In terms of power, he has kind of like your typical gambit of superpowers, the strength and the speed and the durability. His name is Simon something, I forget. But anyways, Wonder Man, he was kind of was really a cool, interesting B-list character for me. But with this route, they're going like the Johnny Cage type route with the character, which I think is appropriate, where he's trying out for the role of Wonder Man. I'm not really sure exactly what the goal is with this, other than to put out a Wonder Man TV show.
Yeah,
because
and they put fucking Trevor in it.
Trevor. Oh, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's an actor. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like already strike one in advance. Get the fuck out of here, Trevor.
Oh man,
who keeps asking for this character,
bruh? Like, I just can't get over the fact. Like, imagine asking Ben Kingsley, to be
3 times.
Yeah,
to be this fucking goof.
Oh, it would be different if he played a shitty Mandarin, but he didn't.
No. Yeah, Who looked at that test footage and went, "Nah, we won't do this."
Yeah. Now this is really gonna subvert the shit out of them when they find out that he's just some fucking actor. Yeah,
Dude, don't get me wrong. Like, that play would have been good in another situation, right? Like, I could see that being a good twist where it's like, oh, this is the real villain is this guy. This dude's like a paid actor or whatever.
Yeah.
In another sense, it'd be like if 4 episodes into Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio was like, haha, no, I'm not the real Kingpin, and it's Danny DeVito.
go on.
No, I refuse.
Oh, yeah. I guess to your point though, it is kind of like Aldrich Killian just isn't as interesting, nearly as interesting as like that Act 1 and 2 Mandarin.
And let's be honest, they wasted fucking what is it, Pierce Brosnan, right?
No, Pierce Brosnan. That's James Bond.
Yeah, I know. What was his
Fuck. What was his name? Oh, that's gonna bother me now.
Yeah, now I gotta look it up.
God damn it. Yeah. That's gonna bother me. And I probably got Iron Man 3 notes in here somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce.
They look. It's another British.
That's true.
White guy.
Oh yeah.
You know.
There's a lot of those in Hollywood.
Yeah, they look alike.
I think now they do. He aged a lot, like after Iron Man 3.
Pierce Brosnan would fucking killed it as Dr. Fate though.
Oh yeah,
Fucking
100%.
slayed. 100%.
But yeah, I mean, back to Wonder Man. Like, they don't really give us a whole lot about this.
Nah.
Here's the thing, guys. Like, my knowledge of Wonder Man never goes beyond the team up books. I never read any of his solo books. Like, he's in several Avengers books that I have, and like he's kind of always playing the background. So yeah, them going with the live action Wonder Man show. I mean, it makes about as much sense as like an Ironheart show or a Agatha. Okay, maybe a little bit more sense than Agatha because he's, you know, a superhero or whatnot. But it's along the same lines, really, of just randomness. The difference, though, is this. With Agatha, even though I haven't finished the show, I can see this being a one and done and maybe only tying into like the sorcery side of Marvel. But with Wonder Man, like, you can't just put that toothpaste back in the tube. So
Right.
what are you going to do with this new superhero? You know, are you going to put him on? Are they going to make the West Coast Avengers? I could see him being a part of that team. I mean, or the main Avengers, but shit, like, you know, you're going to have to build them up. So, yeah, we'll see. I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen. He's always a great actor.
He was supposed to be amazing as Black Manta. And was going to be.
He was going to be. The
movie.
movie,
Maybe, you know.
yeah, you know, the movie had other ideas. He's been a lot of comic book characters, you know. Wonder Man now, and he was Black Manta, and then he was Dr. Manhattan. He's been a lot.
You know what would be fucking hilarious is if, like, I mean, they're not going to do this, but if they put him in a just similar enough Black Manta costume to not get sued, and he's like filming, like he's playing Black Manta, but they just can't say that, you know?
Wow.
Underwater villain character.
Yeah.
And then Deadpool shows up,
Jesus
and
Christ.
he's like, "We got to get you the fuck out of here. They'll treat you way better down the street." And he just pulls them.
Yeah.
It'd be an amazing gag.
That would be. Tangent here, or side tangent is, first one's easy. Is Deadpool going to be in any of the upcoming Avengers movies?
He has to be in Secret Wars.
And does he get the F-bomb in that movie?
I mean, honestly, what would be amazing is if he talks about it the whole movie, and then
They give it to someone
They
else?
give it to Hugh. You know, just Wolverine takes it.
That would be great.
I mean, that's just an amazing gag.
Yeah.
That they should do.
Right.
But yeah, I think so. I don't think he's in Doomsday though. I think Doomsday will be too serious. I hope Doomsday is too serious for that.
Now that they have, no, we'll say that for next week. I don't want to spoil anything.
We got Eyes of Wakanda before we move on.
Oh yeah.
So apparently this is going to be different Wakandan soldiers. So could be some Black Panthers. Could be, just people who are part of the Dora Milaje.
So throughout like different time periods?
Yeah. Okay. It's going to be them. It's going to be like a anthology Indiana Jones where they go and recover various vibranium. It's like basically them trying to keep all the vibranium in Wakanda. So I think that's a cool idea.
That is. I would love if they focused on like Bashinga, who's like the first Black Panther, and like, seeing how they found the vibranium and how they mined it and built Wakanda. That'd be cool as shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But we don't have much more than that. So.
Yeah, not right now, but we'll see. Marvel's going to have a busy year next year.
Are you excited for their 2025?
Yeah, I think so. They didn't show any of the movies in that reel.
Yeah, because it was just a Disney Plus trailer.
Disney Plus stuff. So when you take into account the movies, what do we got next year from? Thunderbolts, Cap 4. Is Fantastic Four next year or a year after next?
Fantastic Four is July 25th.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So,
and what's crazy, man, is we're getting in July we're getting Superman Legacy or whatever. Also,
that's really Marvel and DC trying to go head to head right there.
Yeah.
I don't think that month is big enough for those two movies because I think that most audiences realize that both companies really need those respective movies to knock it out the park.
They really do. I'll be honest, like there's so much weighing on both of them for both companies because, like, it's more for DC because like this is the true launching pad of the DCU.
Yeah,
like you just did a full reset.
Yep.
You cannot come out the gate with slop.
Right.
Then on the Marvel side, it's like, okay, we've had 3 attempts to get Fantastic Four right on screen. Nobody can do it. You spent all this money. Here we are.
That's my laptop. Forgot I had it plugged up.
Wow. What an asshole.
These things happen.
Yeah. Well, no, I just want y'all to know, he raked me over the coals a few weeks ago because my phone was on vibrate.
Oh. Well, hey, you know what? This was connected to the soundboard so I could do work for all you homies, all right? His phone, all right, was on because he's a jackass.
See? And it's still going. It's still going. Here we are, folks. That's what we're doing here. Do we got anything else in the Marvel camp before we?
In terms of MCU, I think that's it, man. I'm glad that we recorded this episode when we did, and that they dropped that trailer when they did.
We haven't talked about how I was 100% right about Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
It's not that Kevin Feige is feeding me information, but it is almost like he was. Because I did call it.
You did.
And apparently only 2 films are coming out between Doomsday and Secret Wars. It's a Spider-Man 4 and then an unnamed film.
Oh, that's right, the Mephisto film. Yeah.
Yeah, Mephistomania.
Yeah, Mephistomania. That sounds like a dirty, dirty movie. Anywho, but yeah, you were right. You said that Spidey 4 will likely come out between the 2 Avengers movies. And it is. What does that tell you? Or what do you speculate from that?
So, I mean, do we have we've talked about this. Obviously, like, at some point you're going to have Peter face to face with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. There has to be that realization. Mm-hmm. So it's insane, right? I mean, you don't cast him if you're not going to get that payoff.
Yeah. When Peter does it, does he have the black suit? Because I think that amplifies it a little bit more.
I don't think he should have the black suit when it happens, But I think that should drive him into that headspace where he would accept a symbiote.
I guess we also have to ask the question: Would he know that this is a symbiote that he's?
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But the only mild spoilers, but the only piece of Venom left is in the MCU.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I mean, I can see that thing just attaching itself to a Spider-Man costume, and he's like, "Oh shit, this is cool."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he puts it on, and
too late.
Yeah, too fucking late, Peter. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, man. Like, I really, there were some. I'm pretty sure they're fake, so I have no problem sharing this. But there were like a bunch of wrong information, quote unquote, leaks that came out about Spider-Man 4. Like I think the release date was wrong, the director was wrong. Yeah, so it's like anyway. But the name that they had was Brand New Day, which was it's named after a Spider-Man comic book called Brand New Day, which would be a very fitting name, especially when you consider where Peter is right now. But
I feel like that right after Brave New World is
that's true.
Is
too. It is. Yeah. It's too. Yeah, they're too similar. Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's clearly going to be Spider-Man versus Knuckles. Do you know the way home?
Jesus Christ.
Idris Elba will be playing Knuckles, but he won't be CGI. He'll be in a suit.
It'd be. What the fuck?
I broke him, folks.
God damn.
But my scenario is just as likely as theirs.
Yeah. What happens in Spider-Man 4?
I mean, I think they go with the symbiote, right? Like, I really do think that they go that route. I think he's going to get the symbiote suit early, and I think he will lose it towards the end.
Would you like
or
to
not.
see a...
Maybe he doesn't lose it till Secret Wars.
Secret War, yeah. That could be it. Would you like to see a new Eddie Brock? If you had to pick one, would you like to see a new Eddie Brock or Tom Hardy's Eddie being brought in, maybe doing Secret Wars?
Oh, no. Can we just get a brand new Eddie Brock? I don't have anything against Tom Hardy, but that story's over.
I agree.
They've done everything that they can do with it, and then some.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I'm right there with you, man. Like, yeah, just give us a new bad guy Eddie, And here's the thing, like, they can make this new Eddie feel so different from the one that we just spent 6 years with that I think that the Eddie fatigue maybe wouldn't even set in if they do it right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you play this. I mean, they never really even played up on who Eddie Brock was.
They didn't.
In the movies.
I think people forget he was a journalist in the first one.
Yeah. I mean, there's no... So, I mean, we got more of a fucking Eddie Brock in the fucking Spider-Man 3 back in the day.
Topher Grace, yeah.
Yeah, so that's who they should get for Secret Wars. I'd pop for it.
Jesus Christ. I think most people would be like, who was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck Topher Grace looks like these days. But my in my head, he just looks like a much calmer James McAvoy.
In my mind, he looks just like like a slightly physically slower version of Hayden Christensen.
Oh, that's who they really need to fucking get. They should get James McAvoy to play Eddie Brock.
Ooh, shit.
Can you imagine like him with a symbiote?
That'd be too much, man. Professor X with a symbiote?
Yeah.
That's yeah, I don't know who you could get to play Eddie. Here's the thing, right? It's got to be somebody who's like physically bigger than Tom if you really want to go for the aesthetics, and that's not hard.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though in Rises they made him look like he was gonna.
Oh yeah,
murder you.
I didn't mean Tom Hardy. I mean
Oh, you meant Tom Holland?
Yeah, Tom
Holland.
Holland.
Tom Hardy is short.
He's like 5'10". He's short for Bane.
Right. Yeah. But in the movie, they made the camera angles and stuff. They made him look ridiculous. But yeah, bigger than Tom Hardy. Yeah, I mean Zendaya is bigger than taller than Tom Hardy. I mean than Tom Holland. So
she should play Venom.
Fuck yeah. Just go straight for just a spinoff of Gwenom.
Oh yeah, just straightforward. Yeah,
Like,
God
what
damn.
the fuck? Yeah, she doesn't remember you either.
Right. I just thought about it. They probably can't even use Gwen in the MCU.
Well, we don't know what this new deal is.
That's
looking
true.
Like.
That's true. Yeah.
Sony may have finally just said fuck it and signed over everything. Because they don't have anything after Kraven announced, right?
They got some shit, dog.
No, I'm saying announced.
Oh, announced? No. Well, not in any
I'm telling you,
capacity.
man, if I were Sony, if I were Amy Pascal, I would just be like, listen, Disney, we will license the shit back to you. And then just sit back and rake in the check, you know? Like, you don't sell it back to Disney, so you have a constant stream of money coming in. And you just chill.
That's true. Let Marvel run it until people get sick of Spider-Man, which Spider-Man's one of those characters people don't tend to get sick of.
Right.
You know?
I mean, obviously, you keep cranking out Spider-Verse stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, stop spending $400 million or whatever. Well, they didn't spend that much. But stop spending $200 million on Madam Web.
Yeah, and
getting
Morbius.
$40 back. You know? Like, my tax return should not be more than they make on a movie. Morbius bombed twice at the box office.
Twice.
So,
How y'all let that happen? That's still one of the funniest fuck-ups in cinema history.
you know, since we're talking about it, though, you know, Venom 3 actually already made their budget back.
They did. People overseas, man, they like subpar and sometimes shitty movies. No disrespect to any of you guys who live overseas who went to go see Venom 3. But, you know, if you look at, like, the Fast and Furious movies, like, the last, like, 3 installments, they don't do great here. It's internationally where they make all their money.
I have tried so hard with those movies. But they're just awful. I mean, they're just entertainment for, like, you know how we say, like, oh, I could turn my brain off and watch this? Those movies are entertainment for people who they can't turn their brain on. Like, it's just the lowest common denominator, just the most mindless nonsense.
Remember the interview that Michelle Rodriguez did talking about she thinks she's sick of superhero movies. They're all just kind of the same thing, and like there's so many of them. Like, why are there so many superhero movies? And I'm like, you do know that you're in
like 12 of these. Yeah.
You know that you died and then you came back.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
She did that in 2 different major franchises because she did it in Resident Evil also.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she's trying to tell us something. Michelle Rodriguez might be immortal. Who knows?
Yeah, she's just like Kenny.
God damn. Anywho, we do have more news here to talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what else we got for this comic news section now that we spent an obligatory hour on Marvel?
We were on Marvel for quite some time. There was a lot to break down here.
They dropped a lot.
They did drop a lot. I mean, we can go ahead and get this one out of the way here. Since we're on Marvel, Blade pushed back indefinitely.
Oh, God.
So, what the fuck? Like, what we doing?
What do you want them to do at this point? Like, obviously, I'm honestly surprised that Mahershala Ali hasn't just said fucking and left.
He's been so quiet, though.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't promoted it.
Yeah. Hasn't spoken about it.
I mean, this is the easy one.
Yeah.
It's so easy to make a Blade movie. Like, the premise, like, okay, there's vampires. Blade kills them in a hyper-fashionable way and then says one-liners.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
That's it.
That's it. You can just do that for 90 minutes.
You know, take John Wick, replace John with Blade.
And everyone's a vampire.
And everyone's a vampire. And then you make that movie. You're done.
That's it.
That's it.
I mean, I would even be all right if you guys copied the homework so much that the premise is like Blade has a dog and they turn him into a vampire. And then Blade has to kill his own dog.
Right.
And then he goes turbo pissed and kills all his...
Yeah. Yeah. billion.
Marvel. That's for free, my guy.
That's for free. We gave you that for the free.
Kevin Feige, write it up. It's got to be better than whatever the fuck the people you were paying to write this.
Bruh. I can't fathom, right? So here's what I had in mind, and this is the only plausible explanation for it. People forget about poor Sticky Fingers. He played Blade in the TV show. And that TV show is not great.
No.
At all. Here's the thing, though, all right? Like, Sticky Fingers, he's a rapper. He's not an actor, per se. But, like, his performance was okay. But that wasn't the reason why the show was so bad. It was bad because it was a show with Blade in it. It was not a show about Blade.
Right.
And my fear and concern is that the reason they've been having so many problems and disagreements is because they're trying to make this movie in the same way. I'm afraid that it is a movie with Blade in it and not a movie that's about Blade. And, I mean, I'll be honest, if that's what they're doing, I'm not interested. And they can just shelve it.
Yeah, just don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, folks, as of now, we have no update, no news, no set release date for Blade. And this was announced, was it 2019?
Yeah. It's been a long time, folks.
We should be talking about the sequel coming up.
Yeah, we really should. I mean, at this point, I don't think we're going to get... apparently, Marvel is like really pushing a lot of stuff out past Secret Wars. Because right now, as far as we know, we're going to get Thunderbolts, Brave New World, Fantastic Four, and then that's into Doomsday.
Yeah,
and then Spider-Man 4.
Yep, unreleased,
which maybe that was supposed to be a Blade movie.
Yeah.
And then, Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Everything we didn't just name is out past Secret Wars. And that's got to be starting into the mutant era.
It's got to be.
I saw the other day, man, that unreleased movie, and granted, I'm sure this is bullshit, that unreleased movie is Captain Marvel 3.
Get the fuck out of here.
And that they are going to do the Rogue thing. And I'm like, you should have done that in the second one.
Yeah.
Like, do not give me the movie I pitched to you on this very program like 3 years ago. I don't want it now.
Yeah, we gave y'all the alley-oop years ago.
Yeah, don't come up in here with that shit now.
Fuck out of here with that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I will take Eternals 2 over that. Give me Mephistomania.
I will take Mephistomania. Thank you very much. I need to see what that's about.
They can, if they just really want for Rogue to take Carol's powers, they can do it in Mephistomania.
What if Mephistomania is just like Mephisto? He's the good guy. He's just showing us all the realities that we wanted to see.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we get to see Carol get her powers taken by Rogue. We get to see Ben Kingsley play a proper Mandarin.
Yeah.
We get to see all the stuff that we should have seen. So that'd be cool. But no Blade 4 or no Blade 4. Technically, Blade 4. No new Blade movie, and probably won't get one.
What do you think that movie's going to be? The unnamed. It's not going to be Blade. I hope that God is Captain Marvel 3.
Oh dear Lord, no.
You think they throw Armor Wars in there, or you think they're going to push that?
That was going to be a movie, or was it made back into a TV show?
I thought it was TV show, and then they decided movie.
That's a tough one, right? Because where do you recoup your money more? I feel like it's more suited as a TV show, but the cost of making Armor Wars, it's like movie money,
Yeah, I mean it seems like, I know that Hemsworth wants to do another Thor. Mm-hmm. Is that a Thor 5 and then he dies in Secret Wars?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Thor is going to die in Secret Wars if he makes it to Secret Wars. But I don't think they risk killing him in a Thor 5 and not being in Secret Wars.
I think that he has to be in Secret Wars, if nothing else, to see Loki one last time.
See, that's not what I thought you were going to say. he has to do the Deadpool
No,
scene.
fuck. God damn it.
Folks, I want you to write us on social media or wherever and just let us know if you want to see the Deadpool laying in Thor's arms as he cries scene, and if you feel it's essential to the MCU.
We don't even know what universe that took place in.
616, baby.
We do not know that. Fuck off. All right. This one was just interesting. Sebastian Stan said he is very interested in doing work for the DCU, particularly playing the Riddler. Can you see Sebastian Stan as the Riddler?
No. Next time.
You're very quick for
Next time. What the fuck? Look, I like Sebastian Stan. I do. But, like, name a role that he's played that's anywhere near that.
Yeah, and it's like in live action movies, we've gotten two very different interpretations of the Riddler. I can't see him as really either.
Like, we got the opposite ends of the Riddler spectrum.
Yeah.
We got, like, the Sunshine and Rainbows Riddler, and then we got, like, the fucking Dark MAGA Riddler.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So... That's such a weird choice for him to want to play.
No, I could see him as, like, maybe Black Mask.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Or maybe even like a Victor Zsasz or something like that.
Yeah. Know? Oh, okay, let's challenge this a little bit. How would you feel about him as Ra's al Ghul?
No.
Again, you didn't think about this at all.
No. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I think he could pull off a good Harvey Dent. I could see him as a Two-Face.
Better than the guy from Joker 2?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You saw Tarantino loved it. He loved that movie.
Of fucking course you did.
And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, you haven't made a good movie in a while either, so get the fuck out of here. Todd Phillips made a good movie since you have.
Oh, damn. A lot of people like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I just don't get it.
And those are the same people that like Fast and Furious because it's another... Man, I don't get that movie at all. Fuck that movie.
Wait, which one? Once
Upon a Time in Hollywood. There's about 25 seconds of that movie that are good, and it's when Brad Pitt kills those crazy people with a flamethrower.
Yeah. That was a good part of the movie. Yeah, that whole movie was just an odd choice. And I get what they were going for, but it's not my cup of tea. But yeah, Sebastian, listen, man, hey, I'm not your agent. I'm not even your friend. You don't know me. But you seem like good people. There are a litany of characters, heroes or villains, that you could play in the DCU. I don't think that... Okay, listen, let's get like an absolute fucking unit to play Batman. I don't see how you could be Riddler.
He's too old for it now, but Sebastian Stan would have probably made a decent Dick Grayson.
I was going to say Jason Todd.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we've already seen them all bloodied up, so... And
especially since, like, there's so many similarities between Winter Soldier and Red Hood.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it's a little too on the nose now.
It is on the nose, yeah.
They should just get Chris O'Donnell back to play Robin. He's like 50. To play Dick Grayson. He's like 50, you know.
The suit doesn't quite fit the way it used to, you know. Oh, shit.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That he thinks he could be the Riddler.
Yeah, that is wild.
I hope he has like the opposite of Nicolas Cage's agent.
Where his agent says no to all the shit he wants to do.
No, don't do that.
Well, you know, I'm glad that you mentioned our old friend Nicolas Cage.
Oh no.
So yeah, let's talk about Spider-Man Noir. Are you?
Oh, that is, they do have something announced.
Yes, they do.
I forgot about this. I think my brain blocked this shit out,
bro. So did mine, because like they originally announced this like back in March, and I was like, I'm not
even. No.
I'm not even gonna put this in the data bank.
Is that coming out next year?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm using my chip. for that. You can get Dylan or Spider-Man Noir is close enough to Venom that Brendan can come here and lend his expertise. I'm busy that weekend. When's it coming out?
So next year.
Yeah, I'm busy.
Mm-hmm. It's all next year.
Busy. Yeah, I'll be reading the new Stormlight
all
year. Yeah. So this is a thick boy.
Oh shit! But this is a live action movie. I'm sorry, TV show, not a movie. And this is Sony's first foray into the Spider-Man universe for the TV side of things. And they have several things announced. And the first one to come out will be. They're just calling it Spider Noir, but obviously it's about Spider-Man Noir.
Is it a TV show?
It's a TV show.
The fuck?
Yep. 8 episodes. And
is it supposed to be? Sorry for the ASMR. Is it supposed to be the same, like one from Spider-Verse?
We don't know that, to be honest. I'm assuming that is maybe a different universe's version of Spider-Man Noir, who was played by Nick Cage. And so I'll be honest, man. Like, and again, like I'm no expert on Spider-Man Noir, but I like that character's origin. You know, it's a 1930s Spider-Man. It's a lot darker, a lot grimier. I like everything this show could be. What I don't like is Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man.
You know, somebody was like, "Hey, Amy, you know what people really like is that whole black suit Superman thing Nicolas Cage was going to do. People are really, like, when they came out with The Flash, that's all anybody could talk about is Nicolas Cage Superman. I think people really want to see Nicolas Cage in, like, a black suit as a famous superhero. Like, well, we have just the perfect thing. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. I'm calling dog shit on this. Well, I mean, and not even because my problem isn't Nicolas Cage. My problem is Sony. Mm-hmm. Everything they touch in live action turns to complete shit. So
I think that they're putting this out on Amazon Prime.
Okay, so they've sold it to Amazon. Mm-hmm. So okay, well that's increases the odds that they can make some money.
Yeah. We can only hope that will be something worthwhile, you know. 8 episodes, and so the premise was like it's going to be focused on an aging Spider-Man, obviously, because you can't. Well, you're going to make Nicolas Cage look like he's 25 or 30, you know. So they said it's going to be about like an aging Spider-Man running a detective agency, and shit goes amok, blah blah blah. I'm assuming that if it's going to be anything like the little bit that I've read of Spider-Man Noir, it's probably going to be focused on Norman Osborn. He's like a mob boss, you know, known as the Goblin. And I think that he's the one who killed Uncle Ben in that iteration of Spider-Man. So, I mean, there's some interesting things they can do there with that. And again, that was a much darker comic book than your typical Spider-Man book. We gonna see.
It sounds terrible. Everything you said sounds terrible.
Oh, come on.
I swear, Sony just fails upwards. They're like, well, none of these live action movies are any good, so we're going to go off into TV. They don't even have a streaming network.
They don't. No, that would cost way too much money.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to buy Sony Plus or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could just put it with PlayStation Plus. They just call it Sony Plus.
Right, just combine it. Yep.
Yeah. Did you see where that guy bought 24 years?
Bro, I thought that was a troll. Like, okay.
No, it really happened. And I was like,
did.
You moron. That shit's not even going to exist.
That's what I was going to say. Like, you think it's going to be there or at least the same iteration of what it is? You know? That was a very weird move. Like, you could have bought so much stuff with that money.
You could have bought a gaming computer and then not have to have the service.
The Hush sequel. So we actually haven't spoken about this on mic yet.
Yeah, we talked about it off mic.
Yeah. They are making a sequel to Hush with Jeff Loeb writing and Jim Lee as the artist.
Got the original band back together.
Got the crew back together. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Well, I'll tell you what my worry is. We think we're gonna get Dark Knight Master Race, but we might get All-Star Batman and Robin. And that's my concern. I feel like them coming back together to make a sequel to this iconic book. It's my favorite Batman story of all time. So for them to come back to make a sequel to this, it feels money driven and not creativity driven.
Yeah.
Now I could be wrong, these two could have been sitting around for years being like, we should make another version of Hush and do this and this and this and this. And, maybe they're just finally getting around to it. But I would say this to DC. I really hope this is coming from a creative standpoint and not from a just go out there and make us a buck standpoint.
Yeah.
Your comics are selling so good right now.
They're hot right now.
DC's comics are selling better than they have in
long time.
10 years, 20 years. I mean, when's the last time that they came out with 3 books and immediately were on another reprint?
That shit does not happen very often these days.
Yeah. I mean, actually, the whole industry is doing really well right now.
Yeah.
But, rising tide lifts all boats. Because what's that new Avengers run?
Twilight
is also apparently amazing.
Yeah. Which I can go ahead and get the floppy of that, but they got to do a deluxe edition sometime.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I kind of want the floppies of Absolute Batman.
Yeah,
just to have them.
Yeah, just to have.
But I want to wait for the Omni for Avengers.
Right,
for sure.
So there is a mini series. I think it's maybe 4 or 5 issues that I would really like you to read someday. It's called Heart of Hush, and this was written by Paul Dini.
I'm on board with all this I'm hearing right now.
And Heart of Hush, I'm going to do what you did earlier, like with Agatha episode 7. But Heart of Hush is not nearly as popular as Hush. But the people who read it all say that it's better, it's superior to Hush. That is that good. Now, here's the thing. Paul Dini, I got no doubt that this man, he can do it. I read Heart of Hush like years ago when it first came out, and I need to reread it. It is, I do remember it being really fucking good, though. But, I think that we should definitely reread that before Hush 2 comes out. Everybody's familiar with Hush. Heart of Hush, I think a lot of people are less familiar with. But, as far as a Hush sequel goes, do you think they bring back Tommy Elliott, or do you think that this is going to be like a new person taking on the Hush identity?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tommy Elliott's got to be in it, right?
Yeah,
at a minimum. I don't know, man. Would you rather see a new Hush or just like Tommy Elliott resurgent? Because I think the reveal is such a big part of the original.
Yeah, it is.
Man.
And
I mean, the Riddler's got to be in it. So
I don't know if he has to be in it.
I think he needs to be. I mean, obviously, like, they got to follow up on the sting at the end of the Omni, where he goes to the cell and visits him or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I think they have to follow up on that.
I want to be optimistic and say that they don't do this unless they had an idea,
right?
Because like as it stands, I can't think of how they just come up with a Hush story due to money. Like this has got to be something that's coming from a place of real creativity. Because I don't know how you continue that story. I don't know what you do to follow up on that. But yeah, Hush 2, man, that's going to be interesting to see what they do. They announced that at the New York Comic Con. We gonna see.
Since we're on the topic of comics doing really well, I think the new Ultimate Spider-Man is doing really well too.
Ultimate Spider-Man, like the new Ultimate Spider-Man, has been doing really well since issue 1 dropped a few months back.
I think they're on a 7th printing for that shit.
It's crazy. Yeah. I believe Jonathan Hickman is the writer of that, and what people like about it so much, one is that it's really well written. It's just really good. And two, it kind of spits in the face of like mainstream Marvel comics, because the idea has always been that like the readers want Peter and MJ back together, you know,
right?
And those two have been separated for years now, which is a travesty. And they've been giving Peter just the Daredevil treatment, you know, like he can't never catch a break, and like shit is always going upside down on him. The Ultimate Comics, he's married to Mary Jane. They have a kid. He's gainfully employed. He looks happy, and he's also Spider-Man. And you know, and it's a well written story they got going on there. And you know, the sales speak for themselves, man. People love that book. They love seeing Peter happy. They love seeing this side of him. And you know, I just love that because it's got to be a wake up call for, you know, the mainstream Marvel team with the 616.
Even like Ninja Turtles selling.
Yeah, I think they're getting ready for like I think the Ronin sequel.
It's interesting, right? Because we've talked about this a bit. It's kind of like, you know, they've got a lot they can still go off of, but at some point they're gonna run out of hits.
Yeah.
You know, to make movies after.
Right.
So it's like, we need some new hits.
Yeah.
And it seems like, at least with this Avengers Twilight, they've got at least one.
Yeah.
And, you know, we haven't read the Absolute stuff yet, but it'd be very interesting to see, like, what kind of modifications that James Gunn might make if we go in that direction.
Oh, my gosh. So I did go online, and I'm glad you brought it up. I was able to read Absolute Batman issue 1 and Absolute Wonder Woman issue 1.
What'd you think?
I think they're great.
Yeah.
They're really good. You know, like a brief synopsis, spoiler free as possibly. Batman, he's an absolute bat unit, as one can tell. But Alfred has a benefactor who I will not reveal here. That was definitely like a big deal twist at the end there, who his benefactor was. But he's working for this guy. Alfred is a bounty hunter, and Alfred's being told to go to Gotham to I think it was to stop this new gang of criminals that have popped up, and I forget what they were called. But when he gets there, there's someone else there who's taking care of these criminals. Long story short. And it's this fucking Batman. Like, he is enormous. And he actually, you see so many characters who you recognize, but they're so different now. Like Waylon Jones runs a gym, and Waylon Jones is Killer Croc typically, but he's not, he didn't have that skin condition. So he's just like a normal guy right now. And like, there's so many other people who you recognize, but they're kind of in slightly different stations. Batman, again, like there's even like with the traditional origin story, there's a pretty big twist on that I won't spoil here, and so it's not really what you think completely. It is interesting. He still does not kill, and he's still very much the methodical thinker that we know him as. But I would argue, is maybe more brutal because he does dismember people. Well, he doesn't kill them. He's not afraid to.
He's got a fucking axe.
He's got a battle axe, you know. But I really enjoyed issue 1 of that. I love the way that it ended, and I mean, it really got me excited to see what they do for issue 2.
I haven't read it yet. I actually did look around for the floppy. You can't get that shit anywhere.
No, dog, it's gone.
And
like, that shit is.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, but the panels I've seen are gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
I love the style they went with for it. What about Wonder Woman?
That was great too. So the way her story is also a slightly different origin. We don't really know like how she was conceived in this version, but what we do know is that the gods have just punished and possibly obliterated the Amazonians. Because apparently the Amazons, they tried to rise up or in some kind of way to defy the gods, and the gods shut that shit down. And so they took the last of the Amazons, which was a baby Diana, and they took her to it was like an island called Hell, like a hellscape of an island that was called Hell, and she was dropped off there with this witch named Circe, and it was Apollo who dropped her off, and he said, "Hey, look, this is the situation. The Amazons don't have to worry about them anymore." And they actually forbid that word be spoken anymore, so you can't even say the word Amazon.
Oh wow!
And he goes, "The gods don't care what happens to this kid, but she can never know, about Amazon. She can never go back to her people. I don't give a damn what you do with her." And Circe eventually grows to love this kid and raises her as her own. This Wonder Woman, long story short, she's still the amazing badass that you know, but she also wields magic because she's been raised by a witch.
Oh, nice.
And so she this is one of the most awesome Wonder Woman outfits I've ever seen. It's incredible. And one of her things that she likes to conjure is this big ass Buster sword, and it is phenomenal. The way it ends is kind of on a cliffhanger. She's fighting this giant, it's like some kind of fucking giant demonic alien looking thing, and she's got her lasso of truth, and she says some badass line, but then it's like she imbues the lasso with like magic and starts glowing red. And so we see her use her magic in a lot of different capacities, but it's almost like there's kind of a price to it, like a give and take type deal. So, Absolute Wonder Woman was also really fucking cool.
Nice.
I haven't read Superman yet, but I've also heard good things about it. So,
yeah, I mean they're all just selling
Yeah.
super well. So,
yeah,
hey, and it's a good time to be a comics nerd.
that it is, man. Fun time to be a comic book nerd, and hopefully they can keep this shit going. Let's see. While we're still talking about comic books here, there was one more that we briefly mentioned earlier, and you actually originally told me about this. Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they're making Absolute Michelle. But yes, let's talk about Old Man Matt.
Old Man Matt. Yep. So, funny story here, or interesting story is that this has been written by Charles Soule. Charles Soule, he wrote that Fat Daredevil book right there, and the one with Matt and the Electro on it. Yep. Yeah. He wrote that one, and that is also the book that introduces the villain Muse, who's going to be in the TV show. But Charles Soule, he is coming back to write Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, and the artist is Steve McNiven, who was the artist for Old Man Logan.
Yep.
So that was it's very cool that they're getting people who are familiar with Daredevil and familiar with the Old Man treatment.
Yeah. And those tend to do very well too.
Yeah. Yeah. They did an Old Man Hawkeye, I think, back in like 2018. I haven't read it though, so I can't really speak to its quality. But this one seems interesting. Have you seen the premise on it?
Yeah. Yeah, I looked into it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be, like I said, these things tend to sell. Mm-hmm. Obviously like Dark Knight Returns and Old Man Logan are like the two kind of staples,
right,
of the kind of old man type thing. But I mean, that's just one of those things, a lot of times that we get, it's the same reason that like Year Zero, stories do well is, kind of the mainline comics, usually you're following a hero in their prime.
Yeah.
So if you flip that on its head and you either have their earliest origins for they knew what they're doing, or you have like after the fact where you kind of get to see the repercussions of their decisions that they made while they were in their prime, how things have ended up for them. I think that's always really fun to explore.
No, I agree. Like, I think they have another potential hit on their hands here. This is one of those things where if it does great, then people will flock to it and love it. And if it's not great, then people will say, why did they make this book in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, the only time I've ever seen it attempted in live action was Logan.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that went really well.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Right. Yeah, so I'm really curious to see how this book unfolds, and I'm looking forward to reading that one as well. it looks like Matt has lost his powers from what I've read in the synopsis, and that he mysteriously gets them back somehow.
Right.
So yeah, I would love to see what Matt Murdock, old man Matt, can do here.
He probably has a bunch of Blue Chew.
He's probably still needs it.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's still Matt Murdock.
Yeah, you know, he's drowning in it.
When do we get a trailer for Superman Legacy?
Well,
we've seen one official photo and then like one or two set photos.
If they were smart, I would put it out in front of Captain America.
Not after, but before.
Yeah, like when you go to sit down to watch Captain America.
Oh.
That's going to be one of the previews.
That would be smart.
Because, I mean, you got a captive audience there.
Yeah.
You've got people there that are there for comic book type movies.
Yeah.
And if Cap 4 sucks, people will leave there going, well, at least DC's back.
Right.
So,
that would be the right place to put it. And that is March. When is Cap 4?
I think that's February.
February, okay.
Damn it. You got me doubting myself. I'm pretty sure it's February, but you got me doubting it. February 14th. Valentine's Day,
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It's going to be like when they did Doctor Strange Mom.
Yeah, on Mother's Day. Yeah. Yeah, that was some shit. Marvel loves to do shit like that. Hey, Marvel, how come y'all keep dropping the black people stuff in Black History Month? Like that was cool at first. Now it feels a little reductive.
Yeah, that's true. Did both Black Panthers come out?
No, the second one came out in October.
I'm about to say, I thought that it was a fall release, but the first one came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that worked out.
It did. Yeah, for sure.
So this is really only the second time they did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, it's one of those things where it's like, if I had to die for every time this happened, but the fact that it happened twice is still,
Still a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, if like Doomsday comes out in February, that would be a problem. Because of, RDJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we don't need that not in February.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten trailers for both Cap 4 and Thunderbolts. We got a teaser for Thunderbolts. I'm sorry.
A 2-minute teaser. I'll be honest, man. I mean, we talked about this already, but from that little teaser, I'm really interested in this.
Yeah.
In this movie. What they end up doing with what's his name?
Sentry.
With Sentry, I think is going to be like the crux of this movie. I think it looks really good, but if they do some dumb shit with Sentry, that's going to ruin it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how would you feel like if they put a power couple on them and then just threw them into prison and so they don't have to worry about them? Would that be a satisfying conclusion to that character?
And he's just a MacGuffin for like fucking Dr. Doom to come get him later or whatever?
Possibly.
And use him for whatever?
Right.
Victor's going to come take his powers. I mean, that's fine, Just don't do something stupid,
I feel like this movie needs stakes. I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't think that everyone needs to make it out of this one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but I swear to God, if you fucking kill Bucky, though, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah, no. Don't. Yeah. No Bucky, no Yelena.
Yeah. Those two are off the table. All right. Everyone else, I think it's free game.
Right. I mean, Red Guardian is obviously a huge candidate to bite it because, like, that's just character development for Yelena.
Yeah, that's true.
And you guys also could fucking murder U.S. Agent, but no one's going to care about that. We're going to cheer.
I really like that character.
I do too, but he's such a douchebag.
He is. He looks like he's done better for himself in the trailer.
He does.
Yeah.
Still looks like he's probably an asshole, though.
Oh, absolutely. 100%, yeah. Like, he definitely yells at his wife.
Oh, yeah, 100%,
yeah. Ghost and Taskmaster, I think you can kill Ghost. Taskmaster is as they've learned the hard way, Taskmaster is too popular of a character.
Redeem Taskmaster,
yes,
kill Ghost.
Kill Ghost, yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
And plus, you can get a cool ass moment where Ghost tries to phase through some shit and it like doesn't work, and they just get like impaled or whatever.
Yeah,
you can do a really cool kill with that.
And also the reason why people need to die. This is the fucking century,
right?
know?
And there's also too many characters.
There's a lot of them, and also Thunderbolts. We already associate them with being Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
they don't have any bombs in the neck. Still, kill them. Kill some of them.
Yeah.
It'll be good for the movie.
And then you can have US Agent be like, "The fuck is this? Some kind of Suicide Squad?" I don't know if I can actually say that.
Yeah. What are we? Some kind of Thunderbolts? That doesn't really work either. One more thing, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Did you see this article about RDJ, Robert Downey Jr.? He says he refuses to let Hollywood create an AI digital replica of him. Yeah,
he said he would sue from the grave.
Yeah.
I love this, man, to be honest, because it's like, here's the thing. I think that in some instances, like Disney's being sued by Peter Cushing's family for recreating him for Rogue One.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really funny too, because in that interview he was like, yeah, well, I know all the people at Marvel, and like they wouldn't do that to me, and I'm just like, yeah, and even the interviewers said the same thing. They were like, okay, but like the next executives will,
right?
If you've been dead 10 years and there's like a new CEO, that doesn't even know you, and they're like, oh, we can make some money off of this, then they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And it's ironic, too, because Disney is currently being sued for doing exactly this. I think in cases like that, or in Alien Romulus, I think it's fine. I think if you completely recreate somebody's performance, like there's a line there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even so, their estate, their family, whatever, should be fairly compensated.
Absolutely.
For you doing it. But I think that has to be a consent thing. I think if somebody says, hey, I don't want myself recreated, then that's it.
Yeah.
There should be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that's my feelings on the matter. What about you?
No, I'm right there with you. I think it's a little gross to begin with, and there is a line between it being artistically creative and gross, but man, I think that it more times than not, it can easily wind up on the side of gross and unnecessary. There are times where I can definitely see it being something to enhance the story they're trying to tell. If we can get this character for this one shot or this one scene, but more times than not, man, like your story won't live or die on that cameo or whatever you want to do with that character.
Like, it was effective in Alien Romulus, but the movie didn't have to happen.
It didn't have to happen, man. It could have been any kind of, I know that they're all like the same model, but it could have been any, kind of cyborg looking.
Yeah, they have different androids. I mean, that's not the only model.
Right.
There's another one in the damn movie.
Yeah.
They could have used another one of him, like another model of him, and it would have been creepy as shit.
Right. So yeah, there's things they can do to skirt around shit like that. I don't blame Robert Downey Jr. at all for that. I would absolutely say, yeah, fuck it. Put it in some kind of clause or contract. Yeah, sue and So I guess it would be like I would say no, don't do that. But also, if there's a way, leave it up to my family. Like if y'all are down bad for some reason, and Marvel's offering y'all $10 million to use my likeness, then go ahead.
Right.
But
also at the end of the day, right? It's like if you're going to use it for anything more than a cameo anyway, that's some serious. You have a huge problem.
Yeah.
If you got to go back to that well to the point that you got to dig up the corpse of RDJ so he can be in Avengers 15 or whatever.
If they're going to do that, then I need Deadpool to dig up the body.
Again.
Oh, shit. Hey man, that's all I got for this one, man. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, there's a lot coming down the pipe, man.
Yes.
There's a lot going on, and we have a lot going on.
Absolutely.
You guys are reviewing Big Trouble in Little China tomorrow.
That we are, and then
Next week.
yeah,
We have Agatha.
we have Agatha next week, and then I think either the week after that or the following week we have Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we still have to squeeze our Mistborn review in.
I was gonna ask you about that.
So it's just been one thing after another. Like, we got hit by the fucking hurricane. Lauren was out of town, and then Kay has been sick. So, yeah, I mean, as soon as she's feeling better, the next couple weeks, we need to do that. Because I definitely want to do it before we go to the convention in December.
Yeah.
So
100%. Yeah. When is that again?
I think it's December 3rd. So we'll be
Gotcha.
gone for 5 days. We'll be in Salt Lake City. We'll fly up, and then the convention's 3 days, and then the next day we'll fly back.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get the book that Thursday night. So I'll probably halfway finish the shit by the time we get back.
Dog.
Because I'm already like 30 chapters in with the previews they've been releasing. So
Sheesh. Yeah. So for any of you Sanderson nerds out there who are going to be up there, look for Caleb.
yeah, man, it's a pretty limited convention. The tickets sold out in like 10 minutes.
Good.
But there's only 5,500 people.
10 minutes though.
Yeah, I don't even think it was that long. Like, I mean, it was like, I think previous years there's been like the VIP tickets sold out within like a few hours. This year it was like 2 minutes for the VIP.
Damn.
And that's just because the website was like not loading. And then previous years, it's been like you've been able to buy general admission in like October, but then the shit sold out in like under 30 minutes this year. So it's a big release, man. It's probably the biggest release ever, probably since Hero of Ages. Biggest release since Hero of Ages. And you know how that went.
Yeah. God damn. Yeah, he's gonna need a bigger venue.
Oh yeah, they've already been. Yeah, they were already like, yeah, we're definitely going to expand it for next year. But the irony is, next year he doesn't have anything like Super Major coming out,
right?
Because he's about to take a break from the major series. He's about to write all the next 3 Mistborn books, and he's going to write them all at the same time.
Damn.
And then that way he can do a yearly release.
Yeah.
That's what he did with the first 3.
Okay.
So he's actually going to write. I mean, it's debatable, but technically, it's 8, 9, and 10 for that series, and so he'll write them all, and then they'll come out probably, I think 2028, 29, 30.
Okay.
So,
yeah, man, stay writing.
But I mean, he does. There's no telling. He probably has like 4 of the books he hasn't told us about. So, yeah.
Well, I just want to make sure that you're going to be here back in time to review your favorite upcoming movie, Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, I'll be here. And I'll be honest, man, I actually don't think it's going to be awful. I think it's just going to be John Wick with a very, very light Kraven flavoring. Yeah,
if I'm being honest, I think that I'll watch this movie and say, they didn't have to call it Kraven, but, it was, it was a movie,
It's going to be like a Kraven flavored LaCroix.
Jesus. I don't think I want to try that at all.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. Well, homies, I think that we have regaled you guys enough for one evening. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this comic news episode.
Comic news.
Yes. And especially, it's been a while since we did a comic news episode because I didn't even remember where the button was.
It has been a while. I want to say, was the last time when they did the RDJ Doomsday announcement?
Yeah. That was it.
It's been a minute.
That was the last time we did one, yeah. But homies, that's going to be all for now. We will see you guys again very soon. But until then, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.